G'day guys, my name is Mickey and I'm a member of the Italian Style team, and I'm in the beauty and the comfort of my own home demonstrating this beautiful haircut all the way from Milan on this beautiful model. Well, her name's Deborah, Susie, Quattro, whoever you want to say. She doesn't really tell me what her name is, so that's not the point here. The point is that I'm going to show you a beautiful haircut that is absolutely priceless in every way because it's a fashion-forward haircut all the way from Milan with simple sectioning. And it actually brings out the beauty of you as a hairstylist. So what we're going to do first is, before I go ahead and commence, I'm just going to explain to you how easy these sections are. Okay, so what we're going to do is get our comb, and it's funny because when we put our comb we can always find out where the tip of the crown is by just sitting the crown. Like, here's our crown here, there it is right there. So this is basically like right on the tip, and we want to keep it as simple as possible. So once you've done that, you want to grab that and you want to section all the way down to the ear tip. So you go with that. So you've got one, let's just pull that one out, and then you go the same on the other side. And you pull all that one out. So what I'm going to do now is just divide the back from the front, because the back, we'll get back to that later, and we'll just section that. Okay, so now we've got the front here. So what I'm going to do is 3/4 of an inch from the top of the crown. We're going to go ahead and set an angle right down to the eyebrow arch. We're going to go all the way 3/4 of the top and eyebrow arch right there. Let's do that again. Maybe need some water. Okay, we've got one section here. Let's just section that one out. So we've got the side. Let's do the same on this side here. Let's section this one all the way up and to her eyebrow arch. And we'll section this one out too. Okay. So now we've got the front here, which is the fringe. We're just going to pull that out, and we'll put that in a clip just for now. And we'll get back to that later. So you got from eyebrow arch to eyebrow arch, and there we go. So 3 sections. Couldn't get any better than that. So then what we're going to do is we're going to start our haircut from the back. So we have the back here, and what we're going to do, I mean, because it's a mannequin, she doesn't have much hair. So we were going to do some sections, bring it straight down, cut it blunt. Next one, bring it down, cut it blunt. Next one, bring it down. So we're going to bring this all down, and we're going to be just blunt cutting this whole back section. So let me just go ahead and water this up a little bit. Moment. We'll put this all down again. Isn't it funny how blonde hair always seems to be dries up so much faster? Okay. Okay, so we've got that. So what we're going to do now, and it's very important when you do this to keep it as blunt as possible. Always make sure her head is straight, chin's up, looking in the mirror. So what we're going to do now, we're just going to part this down in the center. We're going to pull out an inch on this side. And an inch out on this side here. Okay. Here we go. So we have an inch on this side and that side. And see? And now okay, so now we're just going to bring it straight down, and you make sure it's nice and straight, and you cut away. So cut, always, you know, every time I like to cut, I always like to step back and just make sure everything looks right. So we bring down the next 1 inch section, straight down. And bring that down. And now I wasn't kidding to you about keeping these sections very simple, huh? This is the one thing I like. You know, Italy gives you these sections and you as an artist can bring out the shape. So we can bring that straight down and you get your scissors. Snip, 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 snip. Snip, snip, snip. And always, as I said, I always like to get back, stare at it, look at it a little bit, and everything looks good. And then we got the next section, which will be the last one. Didn't see that one coming, but it's a good thing that we don't have any health inspectors here. Okay, now we just bring down the last section and we're going to go straight down and we're going to go cut it straight across. Couldn't get any more easier than that. So we have just executed our entire back section. Couldn't get any easier than that. So now we're going to be dealing with this section right here. So we're going to be dealing with the sides. Now, as I said, what we're going to do with the sides is very simple. We're going to grab these sides. We're going to brush them straight down. And you can get your scissors and just blunt that straight across. So we are creating our shape right down here. We're going to do the same for the other side. Straight down. You can do it. You know, last thing I'm going to do as an artist is tell a hairdresser on how to cut something. You're the artist. You cut the way that you want to cut, but this is just the simplest way. And it's always nice when you finish cutting, visualize and see that all balances in nicely. And once that's all done, and everything should be lined up perfect, and it looks good. I think it looks great. Okay, now we're up to the front section. Okay, so now we're up to the front of her bangs. So what we're going to do is simply we're just going to section this one back. It just helps clear out the diffusion from the fringe to the sides. And we're going to drop that, but before I do so, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to really make sure I wet this down nicely. Now, because we're dealing with a mannequin, it's very unpredictable on how a fringe is going to look on a mannequin. So I probably think the best thing I'm going to do is not cut it as short as normally, because they honestly tell you to cut, you know, pretty short halfway through the forehead. So I'm going to sort of like just go with how this mannequin's hair is falling. So I'm going to drop this straight down. And I'm not going to really put any tension on it. I just want to brush it all down and just see how it's falling. And I'm going to go ahead and just straight cut that with no tension at all. So let's try that. Let's do that. Let's do a little snip at a time. Yeah, you can see how it's starting to bend up there. Okay. It's a good thing I'm not really cutting this any shorter, huh? Because it would look like a veranda. That's what it would look like. Get that little hair out of the way. You know, another good thing too, you know, these are really long scissors, and you know, using these long scissors at times helps me, you know, really determine a straighter line, especially when you're doing a lot of free cutting like this. And it does help me in that way. You can see how. Okay, so we've got that going on. Let's go on the other side. Do a little snip, and a little snip. And we got it. We gave her these nice little trendy little bangs. Let's give that a bit of a wet down. And that's a very good thing I didn't go any shorter than that. Okay, so now we've created the shape, and we're going to take this and we're just going to turn up the volume, or you could say turn up the jam a little bit. So once the bangs are all cut, let's get that all out. So the bangs are out. Gotta love a mannequin bang. So now we're up to texturizing, putting some more movement into it. And the way the Italians see to put movement in it is to basically, well, I call it the inside out haircut. I mean, you're putting little triangles, but I'm going to talk to you more about that. So let's do this first. Let's create that section. So what we're going to do is we're going to section from here all around, just one big section, and let's just get that out of the way. So let's start from here tip. We're going to go straight down below the crown. We've got that. We're going to do the same on the other side. We're going to do it from the point of the eyebrow arches, straight down. And we're going to leave this section. We're going to pull that right out. Now this is where it gets really interesting. We're going to be creating triangles, upside down triangles. Now, as you can see, we've got the hairline here. So we're going to do our first triangle here, another triangle here, another triangle here, and one in here in the back. So what we're going to do is pull that one out, and you pull that one. Okay, so you have your first triangle. So it's always nice to pull out the hairline first to create your first triangle. So that's your first triangle right there. So let's just pull that out. And then we go to the next one. So we pull out your next triangle. So the best way to do that is pull it straight down. Pull that one out. Whoops. Another triangle here. And we're going to get another one. So you've got the triangle sections right there. And we're going to do the same on this side here. And pull out your first. Pull that one out. Whoops. I'm going to pull out the next one. Another triangle, and then we're going to pull out a final one. And you have all your triangles all sectioned up. Now this is where it gets really interesting, and this is where I love my part of hairdressing, because I'm a man of texture and I love texture. So what we're going to do is, with the pieces here on the bottom. Okay, so now we've got these triangles. You've got your down triangles, and then you have your up triangles and your down triangles. So what we're going to do first is we're going to start with our up triangles. And I will get these ones, and you go from mid-lengths, that's what you do, and you go in and you can shape it. And then you do all these to the triangles that are hanging down halfway, and you just go straight in. You're just adding a little bit of texture. Obviously you can't do too much of this mannequin because she doesn't have much hair to play with. So we're just going to go around, spin her around so you guys can see. Okay. So now we just add a little bit of texture under here. Now this is where the interesting part comes in. So all these other triangles that you've got placed away, you're just going to take that one out, pull that out, straight it, and you go inside out, as I like to call it. Get the next section, pull that one out, inside out. Next one, we'll spin her around. Inside out. And you can see the good thing is that it creates that lift, that body, and that's what you want. At the same time, it also defines the shape. And we're just going to continue this all around, and I'll show you the method to this madness, why the Italians do it this way. Oh, it does look cool too, and it did teach me a thing or two about texture in hair. And we'll just continue that right around. As you know, I'm just doing the same thing as I did on the other side. That's how easy it is. Okay. Now, you can see that shape that we have created here. Let's put my comb and my scissors in there. The top part, you let it drop. And you let that be. And look at that. This is one haircut that I feel that anyone can do. And that is the most easiest haircut you could possibly do on anyone. And the good thing about Deborah, whatever you want to call her, just give it a good shake it around, and just see how it looks. Everything seems to be lined up nicely. It's balanced out. The bangs, she looks like a rooster. You can see those bangs. You can see her hairline wants to go like this. That's what her hairline wants to do. She wants a flat top. So now we're all up to our coloring demo. Bam! We're up to our color. Okay, we're back now. We're going to be using the colors, and we're going to be doing her roots first. So we're going to be doing the 8036. We're going to be using 20 grams of this. We're going to be doing the 8021, which is 5 grams. And we're going to be doing the 7cc, which is also another 5 grams. So it gives you a total of 30 grams. So 30 grams, and then you need 60 grams of peroxide. One thing I like about the Fumisi colors, and this is what really put me onto Fumisi, is that you can mix any color with the line. As you can see, that we have the 2001 and you're mixing it with the 2001 Intense. And not only that, the 2001 Intense is the 20-minute color. So this will save my time and save her time and save you time watching this video, that's for sure. So let's go ahead. I've got the color already mixed up and I'm gonna splat this on right now. Boom. Boom. We have all this applied onto her roots. Now we're going to be doing the highlights through the bottom half of her head. So let's get that organized and I'll be right back. Okay guys, we're up to the highlighting now. So we've got our colors already mixed up, but I'm just going to let you know what I've mixed. So for the highlights that I've used a 90 RP, 15 grams or 15 cc's, and then I used the 9036 with 5 grams, and then I used 1 gram of the Fram Color Pigment Plus 6.5, and I just put a little gram in that. And this is the color it usually comes, and it comes out like that. So that one there's all mixed. And the next one, I have the 1062 30 cc's, and that one is mixed right here. And just when we're going to roller brush the sides, we're using a 7cc here, straight with 10 volume. Now they're all done with 10 volume here. So what I'm going to do first is that we're going to take out 2 diagonal sections, not exactly the hairline itself. So what we're going to do is we're going to go from tip of the bang. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to go straight across, pull that straight across. We're going to leave that one down. So we've left out the bottom half of the bangs. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pick out this very first section, straight across, not much of a big thick section. I'm going to get my foil. And slip that right underneath there, brush that out. And I am going to use, we'll go ahead and apply this one. We'll section that one off. We've got that one out of the clear. And then we've got our last section up here, and we're going to be using our final color. Put that one out, that one down. And we have just covered the fringe area. And that's what we've got now. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the sides and the back. I'm going to try and keep this as easy as possible, but remember how we did the texturization by taking the upside down triangles? Well, that's exactly what we're going to be doing, but in a slightly larger format. So you can see that we're going to go straight down, leave that out, and then we're going to leave, hang on, bring out this top section because we don't really need it. Let's bring this top section out, get that out of the way. We go straight down. Make sure one there, and make sure you leave that out. You've got one here, so you got your line there, and you got your section here. Okay, you've got your triangle here, and we're going to do the same onto the other side. Go down there and pull that out. Make sure you section the top off first. There we go. Okay, we've got one out. And we got two out. So now we've got our sections out here and out there. We're going to start with our back section now. And what we're going to do here is that we're going to pull out a piece and we're going to go back to back. We're going to start off with the lower, and then we'll go to higher, and then we go to lower. So we get that. I call this the low light. We go for the highlight. And we can go for the low highlight. And we'll do the same onto the other side. Okay, so now we're up to the front. We're going to go from temple down to the ear tip. I'm going to pull that all out, push that back. We're going to brush that all down. You can see how we've got that section right there. And what we're going to use is our special new tool. Okay, so now we've done the back, and now we're going to go ahead and we're going to be doing the sides, and we're going to do the same as what we did in the back. Just going to pull out one little piece here, and we're going to color that as the low. That's our low. Our low, and then we'll have our high. I like to call them highs and lows. That's how I've been treating my life. It has a beautiful rhythm when you have your lows and your highs. And we'll bring that one out, and this will be the high. And we're going to be doing the same on the other side. Okay, and we're going to be doing the same on the other side. Get that one out. And we've got the same on the other side. Put your hand on the side, and there she goes. So we're going to pull out a piece here. We've got a low here. And we've got a high. Now this is where it gets even more interesting now. We have a little device here that Milan has sent over. This little guy. It's a little Velcro, not like a Velcro roller, but guess what we can do with this? So what we're going to do is that we're going to pick up from the ear tip to the hairline. We go up here. And this is when we get our, and it just picks up a minute. And there we go. And you can see that section. And this is what we're going to down low. We're going to low like this with the 7cc. That right in there. This is the 7cc. And we're going to do the same on the other side. And get that out of the way. And we'll do the same on the other side. I'll bring it a little closer so you can get to see what's going on here. So we get that out of the way. And I'll get this little piece. We do it from the temple. So we've got this little piece. Let me just see if I can get Soteria to put her head down. Oh, maybe there we go. And I'm going to be doing it this way so you can see. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to get this and run up. Sometimes, you know, like people find, you know, it should roll back. I just find the best way to approach this is to actually really dig it in, right? Dig it in first and then roll it back. And you can see it just makes my life a lot easier. And I picked out a nice piece out here. It's always nice to have that little something wrong with a little bit of aggression. When you're doing hair for so long, you seem to be aggressive without even realizing it. And we're doing the 7cc on this side. Oh. Section that one out. And Stephanie is done. So now we're just going to wait for like 20 minutes and we'll be back here in jolly good 19 minutes from now. See you soon. The wealthy 49. Sorry guys, I had a very bad flu for 1 whole week and I'm finally back today. Okay, now it's time for me to get my collar and just give it some waves and we'll come and check it out. Okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead, we just finished blow drying it and I'm just going to go with the curling iron and just put in some few little waves just to give it more of a tousled, natural look. And I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Well, she doesn't have much hair, so I think it's very hard to spend too much time when she doesn't have that much hair anyway. So, as I said, I'm sorry guys, my head is so stuffy from having a cold for a flu for the last week. I'm breaking out in sweats, but she's all good. Okay. There we go. Yay! The bangs. Voila! I hope this all worked out. God, look, I'm sweating here. All right. There you go, Deborah, whatever you want to call yourself. She's all set and she's ready to go home now. Thanks, guys. Hope to see you very soon. Bye. Now I can go back to bed.